Alright, so today we're going to be doing a run called Reverse Boss Order. Reverse Boss Order means we do every boss in reverse order. However, the small catch is that we have to beat the first boss first. We treat the first boss as kind of like the gatekeeper, mainly because there's no way to currently skip that boss due to limited tech options and the way that the boss boundaries are done. Hopefully, eventually we'll find a way to skip it, but for now, we have to fight the first boss first. So you're going to see me do a few techniques here at the beginning. The first one's called snailing. In snail time, everything but you is slowed down, which allows you to do some more damage to bosses and get through some obstacles that are too fast for you to move normally. Second technique is called knife hovering. It allows you to hover in the air. So you just saw me do something called phone skip. Basically, during that, if I hit that phone, I would trigger a conversation. And so if I knife hover, it gives me a little bit of height. And so I can use that height to get over the phone hitbox and not trigger the cutscene, which saves a little bit of time, about a second and a half. Next thing you're going to see me pick up is the stopwatch. Stopwatch is how we stop time. Oops. Stop time is how we do most of our damage in the game. We don't really need to use it for any puzzles, but we will. Makes things just a little bit faster. So I'm pretty low on MP here. MP is how we attack, and attacking is how we knife hover. So I'm going to do a little bit of extra grazing than normal. Grazing is something that we use to refill our MP. You'll see me collect these pink and blue orbs here. These orbs allow us to get MP, HP, and time back. Blue graze gives us a little bit more than pink graze. Blue graze can only be collected when you're not in stop time. As you saw, I left some enemies alive there and then killed them when I got close. This is mainly to give me some MP back. So I should be good on MP now. Normally I would just kill them from far away because I don't need the graze, but if you see me leave an enemy alive for just a little bit, that's mainly because I need the MP, so I want to graze them. And you can only collect graze when you're next to an enemy. So here I'm going to snail on entry. This is just to give me a little bit more time to get my attacks in. There we go. So now I'm picking up slide. Maybe a little bit behind here just because I messed up my knife hover at the beginning after stopwatch, but that's okay. Only about a second and a half behind. So I just picked up slide. Slide is the fastest movement in the game. So you're going to see me sliding everywhere where I'm not attacking or needing to knife hover. So now that we have slide, we're back on our way to face Mei Ling, which is the first boss. I try not to get that level up at that waterfall there, mainly because if you get the level up inside that waterfall, you will lose some time, because for some reason that level up takes a little bit longer. So here you're going to see me try to stop my attacks before I reach the slide. That's mainly because you can't slide after you attack for a little bit. Oops. And then here I'm going to knife hover to dodge the cat. Alright, so now we're on our way to fight the first boss. Picking up that health machine does trigger a cutscene, so you gotta be wary of that. So here we're going to use both snailing and stop time. Do some more damage. I'm going to try to get as close as I can. Alright, that was pretty good. So if I'm close to the boss, that attack will go right through me for some reason. And I can pick up graze and keep attacking the boss. So now I'm going to wait till my MP hits about 0. That's close enough. So ideally we'd be at a 430, but anything under a 435 is acceptable. So now Mei Ling is out of the way. Now we can really start the reverse boss order. Reverse boss order, or not reverse boss order. Every category in this game is the same up until double jump. Except for the extra stage, no major skips. And that's just because we have to pick up the stage 1 teleporter. But other than that, it's the exact same up until double jump. And that's mainly because we need double jump to do a lot of stuff. And there's really no way to get through stage 1 without doing it normally. Mainly because Mei Ling is the gatekeeper. She guards the stage 2 entry, and there's no way around her at the moment. So up until double jump, which is what I'm about to pick up, every run is basically the same. But after that, this run gets a bit crazy, as you will see here in a little bit. So I might not be able to do this, so I'm going to charge snail time real quick. No, we were fine. Yeah, I lost a little bit of time there. One of the reasons is when I slid off that thing, I tried to hit the cannon to damage boost him to the corner, which I missed, which lost me a lot of time. That's the main reason I lost time there. Also, my slides weren't that optimal. So now that I've got double jump, we're going to come back and we're going to do something called yellow skip. But because we're going to do something called yellow skip, that basically means we're going to go to stage 2 without picking up the yellow key, which means there's no way to get back. So we have to pick up the stage 2 teleporter, which is what I'm going to do right here. We only have to enter the room. We don't have to do anything in it. So that's why I just entered real quick. And then I'm going to be picking up stopwatch here for something called grip clip. Grip clip used to be pretty easy, but now it's much harder. So I'm going to pick up this stopwatch. It's basically like a safety net. It makes it a lot easier. And now we're going to do something called yellow skip, which I'm going to be a little bit quiet for. I'll explain after it's done. Yes. Alright, that was a very good yellow skip. So yellow skip uses a technique where... Alright, so yellow skip uses a technique where basically the more objects you slide into, the more you get knocked back. And so when you use slide. And so by sliding into all those bubbles, we create a huge knockback, which allows us to clip through the wall. However, we need a lot of bubbles. And if we don't get enough bubbles, we won't clip all the way through the wall. That's okay. Alright, so now we're going to be using a technique called grip clip. Nice. That allows us to clip through the wall. As you see, I used all 115 time there. So if I didn't pick up that extra stopwatch, I wouldn't have been successful. So now we're going to grip clip back out. Perfect. Grip clips are kind of scary. And this is why we need to pick up the stage 2 teleporter to get back. And now we're on to stage 5. Whoops. Oop, there we go. But before we get to stage 5, we're going to be picking up a little thing called chainsaw, or the holy chainsaw, as it's called in the Discord. And that's because the chainsaw is how we do all of our damage. So, in every category we use the chainsaw. That's the only method of attack we use. Oops. There we go. And that's mainly because the chainsaw does tick damage, and we can throw a lot of them in time stop, and it has the lowest attack cost in the game at 15. The only thing lower than that is stun knife. Stun knife is out of the way and does far less damage than chainsaw does. This is spike boss room. This is something that beginners will be practicing a lot of. It helps you get really good at knife hovering well. And now I'm going to be using a technique called teal skip, which is, it's a pretty cool technique. Oh, I got it, nice. But before I actually do teal skip, so I'm going to be going over here, and since we can hit the stage 4 teleporter from out of bounds, which is pretty cool. That's what you're going to see me do here. Nice. I'm a little low on MP, but I have grip clip, so I should be fine. Stage 5 is pretty nerve-wracking, so I'm gonna be a little bit quiet here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Oops, okay. Whoops. That's okay. There we go. So basically we're going to be outrunning that laser. Which isn't very hard to do. Alright, so normally we would be going and getting purple key, but we don't like keys, so we're not. This is using something called the storage jump. Basically if we knife hover, we store a jump forever. And now we're picking up these knives. Chainsaw uses 10 knives. And so by picking that up, we go to 21, which allows us to throw 2 knives and time stop. And now we're going to be going to stage 4. This is mainly, we're going to grip clip to where we need to grip clip to pick up screw knife, which boosts our damage. Oh, nice, I got it. So if I do this right, I should be able to get some grays off this ghost, which will rapidly speed up my time. Ow. That's okay. Awesome. Okay. We don't mess with those rabbits. Oh, there we go. That should be fine. Yep. Those rabbits can stop time, so we don't mess with them. We're just going to damage boost here. This is the trickiest room in the game by far. These ghosts can be a bit erratic in their behavior. Now, I might die here, but that's okay. There is a save right here. It's not the end of the world. And I'm also going to get a lot of grays right here, which will give me some of my MP back. There we go. So now we're picking up screw knife. And now that we have screw knife, we have significantly increased our damage output. And so now we're going to be heading back. Don't mess with the rabbits. Nice, got that clip. Yeah, we don't mess with the rabbits. In fact, if there's 2 rabbits in a room, they can actually stun lock you with their time stops. And actually, the most I've ever been time stopped for is 35 seconds, I think. So yeah, so the rabbits have time stop mechanics, and they can totally time stop you. So now we're going to be doing purple skip. That's okay. We can get some grays here. Nice. There we go. That allows us to clip through that purple door, which is really nice. That basically skips us picking up purple key, which would lose us a lot of time. And now we're going to be going up here and doing one final grip clip. I'm going to wait just a little bit. Okay. Oh, that was nice. And now we're going to be doing probably the coolest trick in the game. Right now I'm off screen, so you can't see anything. There we go. But really, I was just above the map. So yeah, game's over. So what I did is for some reason, the credit trigger is right above the final boss. And so if you go above the boss room, you can just hit the credit sequence. And then in the credit sequence, they have this fun little game. So we're going to be hitting 2 credit sequences. Each are about 2.5 minutes. This first one, we get to play this cool game though. So reverse boss order uses the most tricks and tech in the game. The reason there's not that many runners is it's definitely the hardest category. There's a lot of tech and tricks that are pretty complicated and a little bit RNG based that require a lot of practice, a lot of time, and not that many runners have put in the time because yellow skip is pretty daunting at first. It looks really hard and runners need to kind of figure out how it works, and it's a bit tricky. We do have some guides, but ever since they updated the change, there used to be a lot of RBO runners, and then after the change, they kind of dropped off just because of how much harder it got. But it's definitely the funnest category, I'd say, just because of all the out-of-bounds stuff that we do. But this game is very, very, very fun to speedrun. Knife hovering in this game really changes how you look at it, how you think about it. Alright, so that credit sequence is over. So now we're going to be fighting the final boss, Reimu. So we just did all of our setup, and now we're going to be doing basically a boss rush. What's my HP at? I'm going to be picking up this HP here. I don't need to pick it up, but my HP was pretty low. And this boss can do a lot of damage very quickly. Alright, so this is Reimu. So you saw me wait until she lifted up her thing there. That allows me to figure out exactly where she's going to use it. And now I'm going to be dishing out a lot of damage here. And then I need to get as close to her as I possibly can. So basically now all these fireballs are going through me. Nice. Dodge one more attack, and then we've basically restarted over, so I need to wait just a little bit, and then I can start dealing damage. Pick that up. I don't have the resources to stay there through that attack, but now I need to get close again. That's pretty good. And I should be able to finish the boss fight here. So she can do jumping up, and then we're gonna get this little dialogue cutscene. And then if I get pretty close, I can get all its grays and finish the boss fight right here. There we go. Not bad. Could have been a little bit faster, but I'll take it. So if I'm standing right next to the boss there, I will pick up grades for some reason. Kind of unknown. And then I'm going to be knife hovering here. That's basically to get rid of some of these orbs and do some more damage. I need to wait just a little bit there, because if I chainsaw hits those orbs, it won't do any damage to the boss. Oh, that was close. Oh, actually, I did get hit. That's not that good. So here I need to wait just a little bit, and I'm going to be grazing this as much as I can. Kneel here, do not get hit by this. And then I'm going to be using a weird little attack there. And here I'm going to be using the property that I can stand on knives to be doing a lot of damage. Oops. This is definitely the hardest boss in the game to figure out. We currently don't have that optimized strats for it. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about this boss at the moment. Ow. It can do a lot of damage, so if you're not careful, you can kind of get caught off guard a little bit. But this should be Reimu. I'm going to snail here to get the rest of my damage out. There we go. Not bad. So normally we would have to sit through another credit sequence, but because we already triggered the first credit sequence, we can just skip it, which is really nice. So now that we've beaten Reimu, we're going to be going back and fighting Nitori, which is the next boss. But before we do that, we need to get to this area here. And this area is pretty daunting, but we realize that we can kind of just go through the entire thing in time stop, which makes it a lot less daunting. Oops. However, if you mess up, it can be very, very sketchy. But I should be fine. There we go. And now I'm going to be going back to stage 5. I'm going to be picking up a little bit of health, just for safety reasons. And now we're going to be doing purple skip one more time. That's okay. The window you have to clip through that door is pretty small. There we go. Going over these ghosts, and now we're going to be going to the boss. Losing a little bit of time here, mainly due to the health pickup and then not getting purple skip at first try. Nice, I got it. So I'm going to be turning around here. I messed it up a little bit. But if you do it right, you continue to get grazed there. But that's okay. There we go. So that was Notori. Basically, I need to do some. I do 2 short slides and then forward, and then 1 short slide backwards at the very end to make it go into the corner, and then I turn around to graze the bullets and then dish out damage, and then it's just grazing and damage. And that's Notori. So here, I'm going to be going kind of back and forth, grazing these fireballs attacks. Oops, that's okay. No, I didn't want to kill 2, I only wanted to kill 1. That's okay. So these are low bullets, so I'm going to have to jump over them. Go in the middle here. I could be doing damage here, but I think I'm just gonna wait a little bit. Where is she at? So you can just see who the real one is by her tail. Basically, I didn't want her to get her below 5,000 because that triggers the next thing. But I'm gonna be using a little bit of time here because I lost a lot of damage. And then this should be the boss. Oh, I'm a little bit short, I guess. That's unfortunate. There we go. Yeah, my fireball phase wasn't that great. I should have been able to do a lot more damage there. And then my chainsaw phase also wasn't that great. Ideally, we wouldn't even go into a second phase at all. So, but that's okay. We're doing good. This is a good run. So we have 1 more credit sequence to sit through, and then it's straight bosses. Sadly, we can't do any fighting this time with the credit sequence. So in Touhou Luna Nights, there's 2 stories. The first story is this one, and basically you're going to... Romelia just kind of threw you in here, and so you were trying to find her. And then once you find her, she's like, okay, game's over, and then teleports you back. But it doesn't work because Flandra took over, and then you go and you fight Flandra. And that's the main story. But the alternate version is somewhere along the way, Reimu popped in, and she took over, and so you have to go and fight Reimu instead of Flandra. Which is why Reimu is the other final boss. But this story came first, which is why there's no credit game. A bit unfortunate. So after this, we're going to be going back to stage 4. And luckily, the stage 4 boss is right there. So we just go up and fight the boss. And then we're teleporting to stage 3 to fight Patchy. And then we're going to be doing a cool little sequence to get to stage 2. And that's the run. And the castle disappears. I always thought it was interesting that the castle disappears, but nothing else does, because this entire world is fabricated. Technically, the whole thing should disappear. The end, for the 3rd time. but not really. So now we're going to be going back. I'm going to be doing a little interesting technique here involving snail. So there's two ways to get back here. I needed to hit level 11. There's two interesting ways to get back here. You can either go up, you can grip clip out of bounds again, or you can go over here. I find that way much faster than grip clipping out of bounds and then grip clipping back in. It's a little bit more risky and a little bit more technical, but that's okay. So now we're going to be fighting Remilia. Or Remy. Or Rem. Or myself. So we're going to be doing... So whenever I attack, I try to do alternate patterns. 2 time stops and then 1 untime stop. This helps buffer the damage. So, because you'll notice that whenever I time stop, the chainsaws kind of move a little bit. This is basically to prevent me from losing damage output. And then I'm going to be trying to land on my knives here to do some extra damage. That was pretty good. That was a good Remilia. So I forgot to mention this earlier, but one of the upgrades I picked up is called Grip Knife, which allows us to stand on our knives. And because of that, it allows us to do a bunch of interesting clips, because not only does it allow us to stand on our knives become hitboxes, which is interesting. Oops. And we can use that to get out of bounds on all sorts of places. So now we're going to be going to stage 3. To fight Patchy. Oops. Not where I wanted that to go. That green one on the middle platform can be a bit of a nuisance, mainly because he likes to jump at exactly the right time that would hit you. So at this point in the game, since we're doing everything out of order, at this point in the game, Notori would still be, or Flantra would still be Notori, and she'd be trying to get us to sell her a lot of gems. And this is where she tells us that gems increase our stats, which is true. Not by very much, but it is significant. I think you get plus 16 attack from having all max gems, which is very significant. Of course, in a run, we wouldn't be getting that much stats, but... sometimes you'll see me slide before I snail. That is basically an MP saving technique, because I'm going to need all the MP I can get here. Because you can charge snail during a slide. That was close. There is a cutscene on this one, but since we have double jump, it's much easier to skip. So I'm going to do 1 on the left and 2 on the right here. This basically ensures me long phase. Long phase just means that I'm in this phase right here for a longer period of time. This is the easiest phase to collect rays in. So we want to be in this phase as long as possible, basically. That was pretty weird. Most of the time, whenever we kill a boss, we get a level up. So every time I kill a boss, I expect to hear that level up chime, and not hearing it is a bit weird sometimes. Oh, the cutscene goes away too, for some weird reason. So we can hit that save point on the way back. And then we're just gonna go right over the top here. And then we're gonna move these fairies out of the way, because they kind of track you a little bit. So we can kind of move them before we go here. And I'm gonna do 1 or 2 final grip flips. So there's second to last grip flip that we'll have to do. This is basically to allow us to go over the top here. Now we're going to be going over the top out of bounds. We're going to be going to my favorite area in the game, which is a little secret that I found back in the beta. So right here, you're going to be seeing this little yellow platform there. No idea why it's there, but it's pretty cool. And that was our final grip flip, which is very nice because grip flips can lose you a lot of time, but I got pretty lucky today, actually. So I am okay with it. So now we're going to the final boss in the game, which is Marissa, which we skipped earlier. Because we needed to give her time to steal the books. And this one is very short, but basically time is going to be coming up as soon as we deal the final hit to Marissa. Oops. And that's time. So that is Touhou Lunar Nights Reverse Boss Order. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do Super Metroid occasionally, a lot of Touhou Lunar Nights speedruns. I might do other speedruns in the future. And that's the video. Thank you for watching.